We dig through the research, the notes, everything to bring you the really valuable insights quickly and easily.
Yeah, making it accessible.
Exactly. And today, we're tackling a big one. Something that honestly seems to cause a lot of stress for English learners, writing.
Oh, absolutely. That blank page feeling.
Right. Whether it's just a quick chat message or, trying to write an email, that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, it's incredibly common.
It really is.
Hmm?
But the sources we've looked at today, they cover everything from like cognitive studies on memory right through to really practical language guides.
Then they offer a different perspective.
Yeah, kind of revolutionary, actually. They try to strip away all the complicated stuff and focus on just two core things.
Okay.
First, the surprising benefits of writing practice, the ones people don't usually think about. And second, the absolute simplest ways you can possibly start.
Right. So our mission today is pretty clear then. We're basically unpacking a blueprint to take that fear of writing and turn it into something, well, easy. A structured way to learn. We want to show you that writing isn't just about producing text. It's actually a powerful learning tool, something that speeds up everything else in your English learning.
That's the key insight.
And you should leave this deep dive with real strategies, things you can actually do maybe in just 5 minutes a day.
Yeah, totally actionable stuff. We're ready to, start building that foundation. We want you, the listener, to feel informed, empowered, definitely not overwhelmed by endless grammar rules.
Good. So where do we start? The cognitive side.
Let's do it. Let's look at what writing actually does for your brain.
Okay, so writing as a superpower. That's the idea here. Usually when you ask someone why they need to write in English, they'll say, oh, for work emails or homework, maybe chatting online.
Practical reasons, yeah.
But the sources we looked at suggest the real value, the hidden stuff, is actually what the physical act of writing does to your brain, how it helps you remember things.
Exactly. And this first point is fascinating. The research calls it memory magic, specifically for vocabulary retention.
Memory magic. Okay.
This is where the deep dive really starts, I think, because most learners find it tough, right?
Yeah.
Moving a new word from just recognizing it,
Like, oh, yeah, I've seen that word.
right, to actually being able to use it correctly yourself
Right.
in a sentence, actively.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And the claim here is that writing helps bridge that gap faster than pretty much any other method.
Okay, so how? What's the mechanism? I think you mentioned multiple sensory inputs.
That's it, exactly. Think about it. When you just hear a new word, okay, that's auditory processing.
Right.
If you read it on a screen or in a book,
Right.
you add visual processing.
Makes sense.
But when you physically write it, whether you're typing or actually using a pen, you bring in what's called kinesthetic memory, muscle memory.
Ah, so your hand is learning the shape of the word.
Sort of, yeah. You're creating a physical memory trace linked to the word's form and flow.
So it's like a triple whammy. You see it, you think about it, the meaning, the structure, that's the cognitive part, and then you physically make it, the kinesthetic bit.
Precisely. It's like, as you said, hitting the save button on your memory 3 times over instead of just once.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
And think about applying that. Every time you encounter, say, a tricky verb conjugation or a complex sentence structure, you actually write it out.
You're reinforcing it more strongly.
What's more strongly? You're strengthening that neural pathway, like learning irregular verbs, just repeating go when gone out loud. It's okay, but it's kind of weak.
Right.
But if you physically write out the whole conjugation and then immediately use it, like I went to the store, that motor action helps seal it in.
So the physical effort connects the knowledge to actual use.
Exactly. It moves the word from just being abstract knowledge into a concrete skill you can deploy. That's why it speeds up vocabulary mastery.
Okay, so it's not just studying. It's almost like physical training for your brain.
In a way, yes. And this reinforcement isn't just for single words. It has huge benefits for structure, too. Which leads us neatly into the next idea. Grammar as a puzzle.
Grammar as a puzzle. I like that. Because structure is fundamental, right?
Absolutely. When you're speaking, especially spontaneously, you're under pressure. Time pressure, communication pressure.
Yeah, you just want to get the idea out.
So you might take shortcuts with grammar or make errors that, honestly, often go unnoticed. Or maybe the other person just understands anyway. The error is fleeting. It's said, and then it's gone.
But writing holds you accountable, doesn't it? When I sit down to write even a simple sentence, I can't just gloss over things. I have to actually decide which preposition. Is this the right tense? Do I need an article here?
That is the critical difference.
Mm.
Writing forces you to slow down, to actively engage with the
Are
rules.
you building that puzzle?
Exactly. The source uses that analogy. Every piece, subject, verb, object, maybe a prepositional phrase, has to fit correctly, logically, grammatically.
And if you put a piece in the wrong place?
It looks wrong. It's visible right there on the page or screen. The whole structure seems broken.
I can picture a learner just stopping, staring at the sentence and thinking, something's not quite right here. Whereas in speech, they might have just carried on.
And that visibility, that's the superpower here. It creates this immediate feedback loop. You can correct yourself.
Ah, okay.
When an error is right there staring back at you, you can isolate it. You can ask, okay, why is this wrong? Let's say you struggle with a versus the.
You're common.
Very common. When you write it incorrectly, you see it.
Hmm.
And that visibility pushes you to maybe look up the rule, correct the sentence, rewrite it.
So you're actively analyzing your own mistakes.
Yes. That process, that error analysis, is much deeper learning than just having a teacher quickly correct you while you're talking.
So writing turns those fleeting spoken mistakes into, like, concrete data points about your own weaknesses. It maps out where you need to improve.
That's a great way to put it. It's the difference between wandering lost in a forest and having a map. It speeds up improvement because you're turning passive grammar rules into active, applied knowledge.
Okay, this is powerful stuff. Which brings us to maybe the biggest claim the sources make, that writing helps organize your English brain. A lot of learners say when they try to speak, it feels like they're translating directly from their native language, word for word, and the result is often messy, jumbled sentences.
Right, that mental translation traffic jam. Writing helps clear that up.
How?
Well, writing is naturally a planned activity, isn't it? Unlike talking on the fly, you usually have time to pause, think, structure. The source compared it to making a map before you start a journey.
Okay.
That planning process forces you to develop clear, linear thought processes in English.
What do you mean by linear English thought here?
It means breaking an idea down into its necessary parts, using the structure English requires. For instance, if you want to explain why you were late, in your native language, you might just think the whole reason all at once. But in English writing, you often need a sequence. First, the main point, I was late. Then the reason, my train was delayed. Then maybe the consequence, so I missed the start of the presentation.
Ah, you have to follow that expected structure. Subject, verb, object, linking ideas clearly.
Exactly. So by forcing yourself to build sentences sequentially, logically, on paper, you're actually training your brain to skip that native language translation step. You start to think directly in the logical framework of English.
Wow, so you're literally building a better organized English brain through writing.
That's the core idea. You're building the structural integrity. And the really cool part, that organization transfers back to your speaking.
Really?
Yeah. When you're then under pressure in a conversation, your brain can default to those clear structures you've practiced consistently through writing. It leads to clearer, more coherent speaking, even when you don't have time to plan. Writing is like the silent practice that makes your speaking make sense.
Okay, understanding those cognitive benefits is, frankly, pretty motivating. But now we hit the wall, right? The practical side. The listener might be thinking, okay, I get it, it's good for me, but how do I actually start? How do I beat that blank page fear, especially if I know my mistakes will be right there?
That's the million-dollar question. And the answer from all our sources is unanimous and, thankfully, simple. It's the absolute cornerstone. The start small philosophy.
Start small. Right.
This is basically the anti-overwhelm strategy. The main tip is just to drastically lower your expectations for what counts as success. Forget writing essays or long emails, at least for now.
Don't aim for perfection.
Not even close. The only goal at the very beginning is just to start. Just get something down. We're talking super simple, like A1 level simplicity.
So let's define that. What's an A1 level writing goal for someone listening right now? What should they aim for on day one?
Maybe just one sentence. Or perhaps 2 or 3 simple sentences a day. And focus only on that basic subject, verb, object structure.
Like what? Give me an example.
Simple observations. Today is cloudy. I ate rice for lunch. My cat is sleeping. Short, direct, basic vocabulary. Simple present or past tense.
And crucially, avoid anything complex, like no, because, or although, or which.
Absolutely. The second you add those connecting words, you jump up in complexity. For a beginner, success is just executing a simple structure perfectly.
Okay.
The sources really emphasize this. If your minimum target is just one good sentence, you basically guarantee success. And that builds confidence, which is so important. You minimize the difficulty to maximize the chance you'll actually do it consistently.
Consistency.
Yeah.
That leads us to one of the most effective strategies mentioned, keeping a simple diary.
Yes, but not necessarily a Dear Diary, today I felt kind of thing. More like a fact diary.
A fact, Dad.
Yeah. Designed purely for linguistic practice. Just document maybe 2 or 3 simple, verifiable facts about your day.
Okay, so let's imagine someone, let's call her Maria again. She
Mhm.
sits down, tired after work. What does she write in her fact diary?
Just the basics. I woke up at 7:30. I drank coffee. I went to the supermarket. That's it. No deep thoughts required.
And what specific English practice is she getting from doing that every day?
She's getting continuous correct practice on the absolute essentials. Simple past tense verbs, especially irregular ones like woke, drank, went, time expressions maybe, subject-verb agreement. If she writes the date, she's practicing numbers and capitalization. It's drilling the fundamentals repeatedly.
And I guess the motivating part is looking back.
That's a huge factor the sources highlight. If you keep this simple diary for, say, a month or two, you can literally see your progress.
Ah, it's tangible proof.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
can look back and see, oh, look, here's the first time I used that new adjective correctly. Or here's when I started using will for the future. It becomes your personal, undeniable record of getting better. It's very motivating.
Okay, that's a great low-pressure method. Now, what about something maybe even more integrated into daily life, like texting or messaging?
Yes, this is huge and often overlooked. Using short texts and messages is incredibly valuable writing practice,
Even just simple stuff.
especially the simple stuff. If you're chatting with friends, maybe other learners or language partners, those little exchanges really count. Hi, how are you? See you later. What time should we meet? These are all mini writing exercises.
But why does that kind of informal texting, where grammar isn't always perfect, actually help more than, say, struggling to write a formal email?
2 reasons mainly. First, instant validation. You send a text, you get a reply. Your written words worked. They achieved communication. That immediate success reinforces the learning.
Ah, okay. It proves the language is useful.
Right. And second, the environment is low stakes. No one expects perfect grammar in a quick text. Plus, the short format forces you to be efficient. You have to use the simplest, most direct English to get your point across quickly.
Which lines up perfectly with that A1 keep it simple idea.
Exactly. So every single text message, even just confirming plans, is a tiny training session.
And it makes practice kind of fun, right? Because you're actually talking to someone.
Precisely. It connects practice to real life, keeps it relevant. You're writing about your life, not some abstract topic. Every text helps.
All right, so we've got the foundation. Start super small, be consistent, use everyday chats. But okay, how does someone move beyond just those few simple sentences a day? How do they actually improve and write more complex things over time?
Right, moving from survival writing to actual improvement. The sources point to 3 key habits here. And the first one might sound a bit odd for writers. It's reading.
Reading. To get better at writing. Seems counterintuitive.
Not at all when you think about it. It's all about input. If writing is the output, reading provides the essential input, the models, the blueprints.
Ah, like seeing how it's done first. The source mentioned an analogy, like watching a chef.
Yeah, like seeing how a chef cooks before you try yourself. Reading shows you how sentences are actually built in English, how ideas connect.
So it's more than just picking up new words. You're saying we should read to understand sentence structure.
Exactly. It's about absorbing the patterns. When you read, especially simple stuff at your level, you should consciously look for a few things.
Like what?
First, just basic sentence structure. How are they put together? Where's the subject? Where's the verb? Second, look for transition words. Simple ones like and, but, so, maybe however, or then. How do they link ideas?
Okay. Structure and connectors.
Third, punctuation. How are commas used? How do periods end thoughts? And fourth, if you're reading slightly longer things like paragraphs, look for the main idea, the topic sentence. How does the writer introduce the point?
So reading becomes active analysis, not just passive consumption. You're trying to figure out how English sounds on paper.
That's a perfect way to phrase it. You internalize the rhythm, the flow, the logic. And you should choose material that's right for your level 4. Maybe simple news articles, graded readers, even kids' books or comics. Anything where you can see clear, correct structure without getting overwhelmed.
So you see the patterns, you absorb them.
And the more correct input you get, the more your own output, your writing, will naturally start to follow those correct patterns.
Okay, that makes sense. Input first. Then we need to activate the output. And that brings us to using a dictionary.
Yes, but using it actively, not just as a reference book you check and close.
What do you mean by active use?
Well, this is where lots of learners stop short. They look up a word, understand the meaning, maybe, and then done, move on.
Yeah.
But the sources say that's only completing 1/3 of the job. They outline a really effective 3-step strategy for every single new word you learn.
Okay, let's break that down. A 3-step routine. How would that work?
Right. Step 1, look it up. Find the word, get a clear, simple meaning. Maybe it takes a minute or two.
Okay.
Step 2, write it down. Physically write the word, its meaning, maybe its type, noun, verb, adjective, into a dedicated vocabulary notebook. Another few minutes.
Got it. Word, meaning, type.
Step 3, use it immediately. This is the crucial part. Force yourself, right then and there, to create a simple original sentence using that new word, a sentence about your life or your day. And write that sentence down, maybe in your diary, maybe in your notebook.
Ah, so you don't just understand it, you actually produce something with it right away.
Exactly. It transforms passive understanding into active skill building. The goal isn't just to know the word, it's to integrate it into your active, usable vocabulary.
So if I learn the word delicious...
Don't just write delicious, tastes very good, right? The coffee this morning was delicious, or my lunch was not delicious. Make it real.
Don't just look, use it. I like that.
It forces production. And doing that consistently is what moves the word into your long-term memory, where you can actually access it when you need it.
Okay, active dictionary use. That's clear. Now, the big one. The fear. The fear of making mistakes.
The psychological barrier, yeah, this is huge. The sources are really strong on this.
Yeah.
You have to change how you think about errors. Learners often feel like mistakes mean they're failing, or they feel embarrassed. But the research says, nope, mistakes are normal. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. We have to get rid of that pressure for perfection.
Okay. The sources used an analogy, mistakes like steps on a ladder.
Yeah, think of mistakes like steps on a ladder. Each mistake helps you go higher.
How does making a mistake actually help you climb higher, though? How does it help you learn?
Because it gives you incredibly personalized feedback. Think about it. If you consistently make the same mistake, say, with a preposition, maybe you keep writing, I listen at music instead of I listen to music.
Right.
Once that error is pointed out, or you notice it yourself, your brain gets a signal. Warning, this specific point is where you're going wrong. The act of recognizing it, checking the rule, and then correcting it, writing, I listen to music, forces much deeper thinking than if you just got it right by chance the first time.
So the mistake highlights exactly where you need to focus, and correcting it builds a stronger memory pathway for the correct form.
Precisely. The mistake is the learning opportunity. It's the data telling you where to put your effort. It's not failure, it's guidance.
Okay, reframing mistakes as essential data points, that's helpful. And finally, in this section, the idea of consistency.
Ah, the quiet giant, yes. Consistency isn't just nice to have. It's basically the engine driving this whole process.
More important than doing long sessions sometimes.
Far more important, according to the sources, practicing regularly, even if it's genuinely just 5 or 10 minutes every single day, is way, way better than trying to do like a 3-hour writing marathon once a month.
It's like the compounding interest idea, but for language.
Exactly like that. That short daily practice keeps the neural pathways active. It keeps the vocabulary fresh and makes sure you're regularly engaging that English brain.
Whereas cramming leads to forgetting.
Leads to forgetting and burnout, yeah.
Yeah.
But those small, consistent efforts, they add up. The source is, it adds up like saving money. It
Hmm.
builds significant skill over time, all on a foundation that doesn't feel stressful.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, the small steps, the habits for improvement like reading and active vocabulary work. But let's get real. Learners hit roadblocks all the time. Those moments of pure frustration.
Oh yeah, daily struggles.
Things like you have an idea, but you just don't have the words.
Yep.
Or you get totally tangled up in grammar. Or you just sit there, staring at a blank screen, completely stuck. We need practical, immediate fixes for those moments.
Absolutely. Let's tackle them one by one. First, vocabulary gaps. That feeling of, I know what I want to say, but I don't know the English words.
So frustrating. What's the fix?
The fix is again about constraint. Don't try to learn everything at once. The sources suggest limiting yourself. Aim to learn and really master maybe just 2 or 3 new useful words each day.
Only 2 or 3. That sounds almost too small.
It sounds small, but it's manageable and sustainable. And the key is how you manage them. We mentioned the vocabulary notebook before.
Right. Word meaning example sentence.
Yes. But it can't just be a list you write and forget. It has to be active. Structure it clearly.
Oh.
Word and meaning on one side, your own example sentence on the other.
And how do you make sure you actually use them so they don't just sit in the notebook?
You build in a review cycle. Simple routine. Before you start your daily writing practice, that 5-minute diary entry, maybe take just 1 minute. Quickly review the 3 words you learned yesterday.
Okay, quick refresh.
Then, make it your goal to use at least one of those reviewed words in whatever you write today. This forces retrieval, forces production, checks if you actually remember it and can use it.
Ah, so it closes the loop. Learn, record, review, use.
Exactly. It turns that big vocabulary gap into a series of small, manageable steps you bridge every day.
Okay, that's practical. Next, roadblock, grammar confusion. The classic beginner paralysis. You're trying to write about your weekend and suddenly you're frozen. Was it was or were? Should this verb end in ing? What's the immediate fix when you're just stuck on a grammar point?
The immediate fix is simplify. Radically simplify. Avoid the complex thing you're stuck on.
Just don't use it.
For now, yes. Stick rigidly to simple sentences. Subject, verb, object. Use simple present or simple past tense, the ones you feel most confident with. If a sentence requires a complex tense or a tricky structure you're unsure about, just rephrase it using several simple sentences instead.
Can you give an example? How would you simplify a complex thought?
Okay, let's say a learner wants to express, although the movie was long, I enjoyed it because the acting was superb. That's got all. Because? Potentially tricky.
Right.
The simple version. Break it down. The movie was long, sentence 1. But I enjoyed it, sentence 2. The acting was superb, sentence 3.
Ah, okay. 3 simple, clear sentences instead of 1 complex one. You get the meaning across without tripping on the grammar.
Precisely. You achieve communication, you keep writing, and you avoid the error and the frustration. Focus on clarity first. Complexity can come later, one small rule at a time.
And if a rule is just generally confusing?
Find easy explanations. Look for grammar websites or books specifically for beginners, maybe ones with pictures or simple charts. Avoid dense academic stuff. Keep it simple. Don't let one confusing rule stop you completely.
Good advice. Okay, final roadblock, maybe the most common. Beating the blank page. You sit down, ready to write your diary entry or practice sentence, and nothing. Your mind is empty. Brain freeze.
The dreaded writer's block. Even for just one sentence, the sources have a slightly unconventional solution here.
Which is?
Prioritize movement over meaning. If you're totally stuck, just start writing anything, even if it's nonsense. The source literally suggests writing, I don't know what to write, over and over again.
Seriously, just writing gibberish helps.
It sounds weird, but yes,
Yeah.
it breaks the inertia. The physical act of typing or writing, just getting your fingers moving, often unlocks the mental block. It's like priming the pump. It tells your brain, okay, the writing session has started.
And once the motor's running?
It's much easier to shift gears into writing something meaningful. You've overcome that initial hurdle of just starting.
Okay, so movement helps. What if you need more structure than just writing random words?
That's where writing prompts come in. They are absolute gold for beginners.
Prompts, like questions or topics.
Exactly. They solve the what should I write about problem, which is often half the battle. If you have a prompt, you can focus all your energy on how to write it in simple English.
What makes a good prompt for an A1 or A2 level learner?
Good prompts should be about personal experience or simple observation, using basic tenses, things you don't have to research or think too hard about.
Can you give us a few concrete examples?
Sure, like prompt 1, describe your favorite food. What is it? Why do you like it? Focuses on simple present, like adjectives.
Okay.
Prompt 2, what did you do yesterday evening? Focuses on simple past. Prompt 3, describe the room you are in right now. Focuses on there is, there are, prepositions of place, simple adjectives.
They give you a clear starting point, a little nudge.
Exactly. A push to get the words flowing without the pressure of inventing a topic from scratch.
Okay, perfect. So let's quickly recap some of those super practical A1 level writing tasks someone could literally choose from and do right after listening to this, like a menu.
Great idea. Option A, the fact diary. 2 or 3 simple sentences about your day. I ate pasta, I watched TV, I went to bed early.
Yeah.
Focus on past tense verbs.
Option B, describe a picture or an object, look at something near you. I see a red pen, the pen is on my desk. Simple present, basic adjectives.
Option C, write about a preference. My favorite color is blue. I like blue because it is calm. Simple reason using because.
Option D, send a real message. Text a friend or language partner, hi, free tomorrow. Or, class was good today. Functional, short.
Option E, describe a person briefly. My brother is tall. He has dark hair. Basic description using is and has. All low-pressure, high-frequency practice. Hashtag Hag Outro.
Wow, okay, that was a really comprehensive look at turning writing from something scary into something, well, manageable and even beneficial.
Hope so.
So if we boil it all down for you, the listener, the big takeaways. First, remember, writing isn't just about communication. It's actively good for your brain. It builds vocabulary retention through that triple input.
Visual, cognitive, kinesthetic.
It forces you to grapple with grammar, making mistakes visible so you can fix them. And it helps organize your thoughts in English.
And second, the way to start is incredibly simple. Start small, like really small.
Yeah.
1 or 2 sentences, a simple diary, short messages. Keep the pressure low.
And change your mindset about mistakes. They aren't failures.
They're teachers. They show you exactly what you need to learn next. Embrace them.
So you really do have the tools now, from why it works to exactly what to do for 5 minutes today. The key ingredient, though.
Consistency. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That 5 or 10 minutes every single day is the real superpower. It
Yeah.
builds momentum.
Definitely. Okay, so for our final thought today, we talked about describing your day or maybe an object, little writing tasks you can do now. So here's something to think about. We know what you did today, but looking ahead, what's one tiny specific writing goal you could set for tomorrow's practice? Maybe using one new word you learned today or trying one specific simple sentence structure?
Yeah, what's that next tiny step?
Could you write down that specific goal for tomorrow, right now, in just 1 or 2 simple English sentences, setting that tiny target? That's how you start mapping out your own journey.
That's the first step to continuous progress. You can do it.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and happy writing.